Hi guys, it's Kels
And Lex.
and we are from Wed to Med. We are back today with a video on letters of recommendation. So AMCAS is slowly approaching. I think it opens up sometime in May.
Yeah, I would say first week of May.
So we are prepping or helping you guys prep for what all to include in your application. So we're going to talk about letters of recommendation.
So with letters of recommendation, of course, you want to make sure that whoever you're asking is someone who can actually speak on your qualities as a student as well as an individual. Also, make sure that you're not asking your family members. So your mom and dad cannot write your letter. Your sister or best friend cannot write your letter. But I would say maybe go first and talk with your academic advisor, or if you have a pre-health advisor at your school who can kind of talk you through some of the things that you might want listed in your letter, and you can also explain to them why you want them to write your letter. And let's see, who else would you want?
I know I would probably ask my science professors because those are the ones that can speak to your abilities in your coursework. So specifically, if you go to the schools that you are interested in, they'll have on their website what types of letters they want you to have. And it's typically 2 science professors and 1 non-faculty member or 1 non-science professor. So I would definitely do my science professors, someone maybe that I've been volunteering with a long time, so maybe like a volunteer coordinator, a doctor that I've shadowed if that person can speak on my behalf. I wouldn't recommend asking a doctor if you've only shadowed them once or, maybe for a short amount of time and they can't really say anything, but they came in and shadowed me. That's about it. But they can't speak on you personally or professionally, so I probably wouldn't go with that. But definitely my science professors and someone that knows me very well.
Definitely. And then also if you're in undergrad, for example, and you already have access to these professors who you might want to talk to, try to schedule an appointment with them early enough. I know a lot of times, like Kelsey said, they're not going to write a letter for you if they don't know you or if they haven't gotten a chance to kind of know you outside of just the classroom. So maybe setting up an appointment just for a one-on-one and just talking with them and kind of giving them some of your goals as to why you want to go to medical school, and so they can just get a better feel for you as an individual. And then also so you can get a feel for them, because sometimes you might think you want that person to write your letter and then you have that one-on-one meeting and it's just kind of not as, it doesn't fit or flow as much as you thought it would, and you can say to yourself, actually maybe I'll ask somebody else, which is fine to do. You're not forced to ask any specific person.
Right.
And then also, if you're going to ask a physician to write your letter, like Kelsey said, make sure someone who you have shadowed for a good amount of time. And then also, depending on if you're applying MD programs or DO programs, I know with MD program it's highly suggested that you get a physician's recommendation letter, but it isn't required. Whereas for a lot of DO programs, they do want you to have a letter from a DO physician to write your recommendation, as well as to show some insight as to how you've experienced a DO type of care or anything like that. So just making sure you know what schools you're applying to and what they want. Let's see.
Once you have a list of people who you want to ask, how to ask is very important. You don't just want to, go to them and say, hey, can you write me a letter of recommendation?
Yeah.
Like Lex said, they need to know about you. They need to know why you want to go into medical school. So once you have your list, I would suggest either drafting up an email or just writing something out that you can go over very briefly before talking to them, and maybe say, okay, hey, this is so-and-so. I'm in XYZ class. These are the things that I would like for you to include in my letter. If you could write one, I greatly appreciate it. I know for me, one of the keywords that I used in my emails was strong letters of recommendation, because that's going to make a difference between someone that can just write something about, oh, this person received an A in my class, versus someone that can say, oh, this person received an A and this and that. So I would definitely try to put that in it. And I know for non-traditional, we mostly will be writing emails. To the people that we like to write our letters of recommendation. But for undergrad, like Lex said, go to your health advisor and try to get them to help guide you on where to go.
Yes, and then also kind of piggybacking off of Kel's, for a non-traditional student, I know when I asked, a lot of my recommenders asked me to also send them an updated form of my transcript so they can kind of talk to how I've evolved as a student academically, just to see if my grades have, gone up, or because any trajectory, like upward trajectory, is a good thing. So maybe if your undergrad GPA was just, okay, it wasn't bad, but it was just okay, and then you're in graduate school and your graduate courses show a big improvement in your GPA, that's really beneficial, and that can help your recommender as well. And then also don't feel bad if, you have to go back and forth with them a couple of times. I know I had someone who wrote my letter last year, and they sent me a rough draft and they wanted me to read over it, and if there was anything I didn't like or anything that I wanted them to add, they were willing to do that too. But you just have to be mindful of who you're asking. Some of the professors may have a big course load this semester, so maybe don't ask them unless you really, really have to, because your letter may not be as strong, or it may be strong, but you might not get it until late. And,
right.
Like Kelsey is saying, MCAS is opening up around the first week of May, and you can submit June 1st, right? June 1st. So if you can try to get all of your letters in by that date, that would be great.
So include a deadline when you're asking them to, give them some time, because like she said, they are busy. They have a heavy course load, especially if it's in the spring semester. People are graduating, so be mindful that you're not the only one that's probably asking them for a letter of recommendation. So include a deadline, give them some time. I would say at least a month, minimum. Give them at least a month to write it, and make sure, this isn't their first time writing a letter of recommendation, so they kind of know what to do, but make sure you include everything that you want them to include in the letter so that you shine on your application.
So that's pretty much the only tips or advice we can give towards that. Let's see. Like we said, make sure you give them time. Make sure you kind of hand select who you want to write your letters. Send any additional resources that might be beneficial for them to write your letters. So like volunteer hours, shadow hours, transcripts, whatever. And also be very polite because you want them to say the best things that they can, honest things, but the best things. So be polite in the process. But yeah, so anything else?
No, I think we covered it.
So yeah, that's just another little helpful tip for your your medical school applications. If you guys have any questions or comments, or you want us to give you a little bit more detail of how we individually asked our recommenders for letters, let us know in the comment section. If not, we will, try to give you guys more advice as we get it ourselves. And until next time.
All right.
Bye, guys.